Hi, this is Reba with Dare for More Ministries. You know, there's been a lot of conversation lately about slavery. We've talked about slavery and from hundreds of years ago. We've talked about slavery as people view that in today's terms. But one of the things I found very interesting is that slavery is still very alive, and it's very a big business right now. In fact, it is a billion-dollar industry right now, and it's a discussion that we're really not having a whole lot. Even in all of this discussion about slavery, we're really not talking about the statistics right now that are mind-boggling still as we sit here in 2020 looking at the world and looking at the situation that we're in. So I wanted to take a few minutes just to speak into that issue. One, because I'm pretty passionate about it. Number two, because it is part of what we do at Dare for More. And three, because I think it is so vital with the conversations that we're having right now for you to be able to also be thinking in lines of these conversations. So right now, as you're sitting watching this short video, over 30 million people are enslaved today. Now, that slavery looks like one of two things. It first looks like the traditional view of slavery that we've always thought of, and that is the idea that people are made to work in labor or forced labor for little to no pay at all. We understand that there are men, women, and children around the globe that are being forced to work. I've spent time in different parts of Southeast Asia, and I can tell you from the brick kilns all the way to the cart drivers that are 7 and 8 years old, I can just tell you that trafficking is alive and it's well in those parts of the world. And not just those parts of the world, but you would be shocked at the number of places where slavery is still happening right under our noses as people are forced to work and they're paid little to no wages at all for this forced labor, making someone else incredibly rich while they are slaves to this person's job or their market or whatever it is that they're actually doing. So that's probably the most common definition of slavery that we have and that we clearly understand. But that is not the one that I work with the most. Because we are a ministry to women, I work with the sex slavery side of things the most. Because here's a startling thing that'll blow your mind. Out of that 30 plus million number that we're talking about that are enslaved today, over 70% of that number are females. They're women and they're little girls of all ages, starting very young all the way up to adulthood. And that is the struggle that we're looking at. Those are the numbers that are real and that are affecting our globe today. So I think if there is any discussion that needs to be happening today, we need to be talking about the fact that slavery still does go on today, and that there are women around the globe that are being sexually abused, that are being raped, that are being used for sex slaves in different types of places and in different types of marketing. Understanding that it is a huge business. The pornography industry very much has its grips deep down in human trafficking. And as we look at that business, as we've looked at COVID-19, and people are being forced to go home, and they're being forced to stay home, and they're being forced to work from home, we're finding that the numbers of people watching pornography are on the rise. Which means I understand what that translates into. That means human trafficking numbers are also on the rise. Because as the demand is there, that means more women and girls need to be captured, more women and girls need to be tricked, more women and girls need to be caught, and they need to be controlled, and they need to be used for the purpose of what? For some guy on the other side of the screen or some woman on the other side of the screen to be able to sit there and to find pleasure in looking at sexual pornography or sexual pornography online. So that's kind of where we're at. It's real, and we face it. We deal with it. But I do believe that even though it is a billion-dollar industry and it's affecting millions of people, I do believe there's things that we can do about it, or else I wouldn't be producing this video for you today. I wouldn't even really be talking about it today, because what would be the purpose? If there's no end in sight and there's no hope in sight, then why even bother? But there is a purpose, there is hope, and we're watching amazing things happen. Now, if you're not familiar with our ministry at all, I would encourage you to go to dareformore.org, and you can find out about everything that we do with the realm of rescue, restoration, and prevention of human trafficking. We're looking at a very broad scope of women and little girls that have been abused, that are in dark and desolate places, that come from places and situations that many of us thankfully cannot even comprehend, that we really can't wrap our arms and our minds around. And I'm so grateful for that. But there is a job to be done. And so if you'd like to find out how you can be a part of helping us and stepping into the conversation, one of the things that we've done, I've got a shirt on today, and it's Faceless Not Forgotten. It's a barcode. We understand the concept of a barcode. It's the idea that it represents a series of numbers into a computer that represent a product, and that product is represented by this barcode. And one of the saddest things that I know of is that there's so much branding in the human trafficking world as women are branded and are marked. And they're marked as they belong to a person, and that person is producing a product, whether that be in the back of a brothel somewhere or whether that be on the other side of a computer screen. This woman is seen as nothing more than just a commodity to be used until she is no longer usable and then tossed aside for another one that will replace her. And what we want everyone to understand at Dare for More is these women may not have faces to us. They may be hidden in the shadows for us, but they're not forgotten. We have not forgotten them. They're more than a barcode to us. They're more than a number to us. They're mothers who were trying to figure out how to pay for food and how to get food on the table for their children. And so they began to prostitute themselves at night. They are women and little girls who were raised in a home full of abuse and have been sold and marked for this life since they were small children. And I want you to know that these women are finding hope and finding healing in safe houses and in rescue centers and in places of restoration around the globe. And Dare for More has the great privilege of partnering into those places. And we have different partner ministries, and they are working day and night to try to end this huge problem that we have. But our goal every single day is one life. Let's speak into the lives that we have. Let's love the lives we have. Let's help heal the lives we have. Let's try to focus on the ones that are right there in front of us. And then let's set our sights on the ones that maybe no one is reaching at all. And so that's really what the shirt is all about. If you'd like to get involved and help us raise awareness by grabbing one of these shirts, you can go to dareformore.org and go to our store, and you can find these shirts. You can grab one, and then people will say, hey man, what's that shirt all about? And you can help us raise awareness that this is a serious issue right now. Slavery is still a huge deal. It is a big deal. 70+% of women of this huge 30 million plus number are enslaved today in sexual slavery. They're being used. And so I would encourage you to get involved in some way, to start that discussion and to begin to talk about that. What can we do to bring this thing to an end? And maybe you'd like to be involved in more ways than just buying a t-shirt, and we would love that. And so on our website as well, you can find out many ways that you can be involved. How you can go and experience getting your sleeves rolled up and being a part of the help and the healing that is happening with us around the globe. It's pretty exciting, all of the things that are really going on and the good things that we are seeing happen out of all this. So I come to you today in the middle of a lot of discussion in our news and in our media about slavery, to talk to you maybe about an aspect of slavery that actually is affecting us by the millions, that is still $1 billion industry today, and one in which maybe hasn't entered this part of the discussion yet, but it should. I hope you'll join us in your local community, maybe in your join us internationally somewhere. Get out to dareformore.org and find out how you can be a part So for the next few weeks, I'm going to do a few videos. We're going to be talking about this issue a little bit more, but also not just this issue in a broad sense, but we're also going to be talking about how you can, if you're a parent, how you can protect your child, how you can do some smart things as a parent to watch out for those teenage girls in your life, those young girls in your life, and how we can really make a difference. So if you enjoy this video, then subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I hope you'll hit that button, subscribe, and then you'll get notifications when we post the rest of this video series. Hopefully it'll speak into something that you're excited and interested about as we talk about internships, as we talk about opportunities to go, as we talk about opportunities to really make a difference in your own local community and in your own home. So today, let's start the discussion.